And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the True Path Entrepreneur, your guide to living your purpose and growing a business you love with freedom, fun, and from anywhere you want. I'm your host, Beth Weinstein. I'm a transformational business coach helping current and aspiring entrepreneurs align with their true purpose so you can help more people grow your business, profit from your passion, have a thriving business you love working on your own terms. And today I am super happy to be talking to my friend, Darnyelle Harmon. Darnyelle, how are you?
I am awesome, Beth. Hello, 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 all of the incredible ones out there. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. Darnyelle is the award-winning CEO of Incredible One Enterprises, a business growth strategy consulting firm that specializes in helping entrepreneurs and business owners connect messaging and marketing to sales, systems, and scalability so that they can build a business that serves them financially and spiritually. She's an author, speaker, and strategist committed to helping others profitably impact the world. Darnyelle is the award-winning best-selling author of 7 books and has been featured in Black Enterprise Success, Essence, and O magazines. In 2018, she was the recipient of the Enterprising Woman of the Year Award and the Woman President's Organization Woman of Color and Excellence Award. Darnyelle, wow, you've done a lot and it's super impressive. It's one of my dreams to be connected to Oprah in some way, whether it's her magazine or a TV show. I'm sure that's everybody's dream. Right. Tell us, how did you get started on this consulting business, helping people grow businesses?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the really short version because I know we want to keep this quick. But when I was 10, I made a declaration that I wanted to use words to change the lives of other people. Life happened to me and, my parents were drug addicts and I was the only one of my brothers and sisters who actually graduated from high school and went to college. So let's fast forward to getting my first job in corporate America, sitting behind a desk, doing work that really wasn't changing the world. And one day, the day was December 17th, 2004, I realized that I wasn't living my purpose. I wasn't using words to change the lives of other people. So I boldly stepped out on faith and decided that I was not going to sit behind someone else's desk anymore. And so I started my entrepreneurship journey, not my company first. I was a Mary Kay cosmetics consultant and sales director, and I had a pink Cadillac and all of that stuff. And then I realized 2 years into doing Mary Kay full time that I had done it again. I had traded one desk for another. And so then I decided we're over this. So September 30th, 2007, I decided to send my pink Cadillac back to the company and start Incredible One Enterprises because the gifts and talents that God gave me are to help people to learn how to use words to get people to take the actions they most want to take. And so I decided right then and there, I was going to put my MBA in marketing to work, and I was going to show people how to build businesses that serve them in every possible way by doing only the things that they love and how to create systems or support from teams to do everything else. And the rest is kind of history.
Wow. Your story is so beautiful. I love that you know the exact dates. I have, because I have these moments in time too, but I don't know the dates. And, I'm like, I wonder if I could actually get the exact date. I just remember it was, the year 2011 or whatever, the year 2007. Yeah. But, I really love that you mentioned words and impacting the world. So, a lot of what we do as entrepreneurs, there's a lot of new entrepreneurs watching or people looking to grow their business. A huge amount of what we do is really putting ourselves out there in so many ways with our words, whether it's, through these like video or emails or public speaking. Can you tell people a little bit more about what that means and how people might be stuck by not using their words? Because I know it's a common occurrence where people are like, why isn't my business growing?
Yeah. So every human being has some innate needs. We know them as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And most of those needs can be drilled down to specific words that create the emotional connection that people need to move forward. So when you understand the power that the words that we speak have, and for the people out there who are spiritual and who know, the Bible or the Quran or any of those books, the formation of this earth happened through words. God spoke, let there be light, and then there was light, right? So our words are that powerful. We can create or kill just through the words that come out of our mouth. And so understanding that, and then deciding to use your words intentionally, to use your words to incite the emotional connection that people need to do the things they most need to do to get the results they most want to have. 93% of any sales interaction is emotional. You know how we connect to emotion? Words. As soon as you say certain things, like we all have that trigger, we hear words, we hear song, and it immediately takes us back to that place when life was simpler, right? We first fell in love with our special person, or we first learned to drive, or our first road trip, or whatever it was. It's all because of words. And in that case, words put to song or to music, but they're still words. And so they're extremely powerful for allowing people to connect to specific things. And as you get to know your ideal client, you'll learn what their cues and triggers are and how to use those words to incite the first reaction, which is to opt in to whatever it is you might be offering, and then lead them down the path of having a specific conversation, more words, to uncover the problems that they have and demonstrate through words the solutions that you can offer so that they can make an emotional decision. And then with that emotional decision, back it up with logic to step forward and invest in themselves through whatever it is you bring to the table.
Wow. I love that you're talking about this, because actually a recent journey of mine has been watching my words even closer. Like I've always been, for many years, I've been aware of certain things and, using, I try never to say, I can't, or I don't, or I won't, no, and try to be a little more open. But lately I've been on this path of really watching every single word, like the word bad, or the word, I used to say, oh, like that's killing me, because it's just so casual. And I'm like, oh, I really have to watch it now. And I know you're a sales expert too. And I actually want to talk about that, because I haven't talked to any experts so far about sales on this series. And a lot of what we do, or most entrepreneurs, we have to sell in some way, whether you call it something else or not. And, a lot of people struggle with it. They get the leads and then they're like, why can't I get any clients? Why is no one signing up to work with me? How can you help people along this journey of sales, or putting themselves out there in this way, like where it's, whether you call it just asking for money, what are some tips you have for selling effectively and convincing people to work with you and hand you over money?
Right. So I would change some of the words that you just said initially, because I think what we tend to do is we make casual covenants. And those casual covenants, because again, words we make casual covenants that then we end up manifesting those things. So I always say, for people who struggle with sales, change the word sales to serve. Right? We've all been to a restaurant where we were served extremely well and still presented with a bill when we were done, right? So just focus on being of service to other people, because selling really is being of service. So I would say that's the first thing. The second thing I would say, and this is all mindset shift stuff, is that it is as honorable to sell as it is to buy. And know that people love to buy. All day, every day. I mean, we were allegedly in a recession over the last few years, but I never rode past the mall and the parking lot was empty unless it was closed. People love to buy. Yeah. So what we have to realize is, if they are not investing in themselves through you, if they are not purchasing your products and services, it's something you're saying or not saying during the sales conversation that creates that. So it all boils down to lack of need. You're not helping them to understand what it is that they need, what their need is. Lack of urgency. You're not creating a sense of urgency for why now is the time for them to move forward. Lack of trust. They don't trust you, or they don't believe that you can really help them. Is typically one of those are the reasons why people aren't taking the actions you most want them to take. So I would say you need to master the sales conversation, right? You can call it enrolling, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, if you're an entrepreneur, you're also in sales. And the sooner you wrap your hand around that and your head around that and find a way to sell so that it feels good to you. Like I always say it this way, Beth, and this is of no disrespect to anyone who's going through this horrible disease right now. Yeah. But if you had cancer, or if you had cancer, if you had the cure to cancer, would you keep that to yourself?
Right.
The answer is no, absolutely not, because you would really change and impact the world. But let me throw this monkey wrench in it. If you look the word cancer up in the dictionary, you know what the definition says? It says disease. So couldn't we say that anytime anybody has a problem, it's because they're experiencing some form of disease? Things are hard, and that's why they're in the situation that they're in, right? So we could kind of say that we all, every single one of us who solves a real problem has a cure of a form of disease. And if we looked at it that way, would we keep it to ourselves? No, we would be shouting from the rooftops, I can help you. Being of service and telling people that you can solve their problem is not sleazy. It is, because I would hate, it's like walking around in a store, right? And I've been in there for 10 or 15 minutes and I cannot find what I want. And you're the salesperson on duty at that time, but you don't want to be pushy and you don't want to bother me. So you let me wander around the store for 20 minutes rather than telling me where to go to solve my problem.
Yeah.
None of us would want people to do that to us. So then why do we do that to our potential clients? So it's a mindset shift first and foremost. And then you do need to master the conversation. You need to learn the phases of the conversation and how to connect with your potential client in a way where the conclusion they come to is that working with you is the only choice and it's a no-brainer. So another thing I would offer as a tip, especially those of you who are new, who don't understand value-based packaging and pricing, the goal is not to put everything in the package, right? It's not, because people will pay more than you think when your package is positioned well. They'll pay way more than you think. And it's not to try to give them everything. It's to give them the things that are going to solve the problem for them. So you are going to need to do some market research and get to know who your ideal client is so that you can take an effective sales conversation. And there are many different methods out there. You'll find one that feels good and works good for you and leverage that over and over and over in order to get people to take the actions you most want them to take. Because I think at the end of the day, all of us really just want to be of service. We want to help people to solve their problems. Like, it's not fair. Like, I think of Harriet Tubman, right? And how she escaped slavery and got all the way up to Canada and was free and was like, happy-go-lucky. Oh my goodness, I'm free. And then she looked around and was like, wait a minute, there's not enough people free with me. Yeah. So I think every entrepreneur is a Harriet Tubman. We want more people to experience freedom. So in order to do that, we've got to risk everything, right? We've got to grab our pistol and go back into slavery and bring people out through our version of the Underground Railroad to bring them into the freedom that they really want. So that's a little history lesson for everyone out there. But it is, I mean, you're a Harriet Tubman, right? You have the ability to get people to freedom in whatever area or expertise you bring to the table based on your gifts and talents. And that is powerful. To whom much is given, much is required. And so you've got to do your work and learn how to master the sales conversation. But know that if a person agrees to have a conversation with you, the invitation is your validation. They're speaking with you because they believe you can help them. None of us can get any more time, right? So I'm not about to waste the only time I have on somebody that I don't think that can help me. So I think if we understand what it is we bring to the table and see ourselves as people who can get people to experience freedom in our own special way, that will reduce a lot of the agita that we feel or people feel around sales conversations. And if they would just focus on being of service, that conversation will go the way they want it to go a lot more than it probably does now, which means that they would be welcoming many more clients into their business.
Your analogies are so on point. They're so perfect. I mean, you made a shift in me. I mean, because I've always approached it too as service. Like, you know, I'm so connected to my why and my vision that when I get on a sales call or sales conversation, I'm just all about like, hey, I did it. You can do it too. You know, It's very in my heart. But it's amazing how many people, you know, clients I have and just fellow entrepreneurs, so many people struggle with this like, scared or asking for money or the sleazy part, or even, like you said, I hate using the word sales. It's just so much easier sometimes. But yeah, to come at it from this other perspective of this is how we actually change the world. Like this help, people need help. I always say like, and this is why I'm so connected to my vision. When I started my other business years ago, I didn't even know there was such a thing as coaches to help me. Like I wish I had known, because it would have been so much easier. I would have hired that person second. And so, yeah, I love that you're bringing this up. And now I'm just wondering, this in the sales and the words and the, messaging, what are some of the biggest tips you have for these people that are out there who are, let's say afraid to do a video or afraid to go on Facebook or afraid to even, tell people what their dream is or what, what they're offering. Because I see this in a lot of early stage entrepreneurs. They get like maybe 3 or 4 clients and then they're like, I'm scared to do this and this and this, and I don't want people to think this. What are some tips you have to get through that?
Yeah. So it's all mindset, Beth. But I would say, fear is never going to serve you, and it's not real. It was created by your ego to lead you to believe that where you are in that moment is your safe place. But the fruit of life is out on the branch. You've got to branch out and get out of your comfort zone to get it. So if you are an entrepreneur and you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to get out of your own way, or just go get a job. And listen, I'm not trying to be rude. I am trying to be a little disruptive and in your face and give you the reality. Because the thing is, you're not helping anyone by being a passive entrepreneur. You're not solving any problems. You're not changing the world by being afraid to, let your light shine. I love that Marianne Williamson poem, Our Deepest Fear, right? So when you let your light shine, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. So only as you are liberated by your fears will your presence liberate others. So you've heard the whole, feel the fear, but do it anyway. And that cliche, which is very true, but you've got to decide, because if you want to earn a living being in service to others in the world as an entrepreneur, people need to know who you are. Okay, if Oprah calls, rock on. But until she calls, what are you going to do? And we live in a day and age where video is so important. And the beautiful thing about it is you don't need professionally edited video now. You can literally pull out your cell phone, flip the camera around, and create a video and go online and get traction. So I would say get over yourself or get a job.
I love it. Are you a fire sign by chance?
I am. I'm a Scorpio. Or no, I'm not a fire sign. I'm a water sign. But,
yeah, water. But
I'm feisty. I'm extremely feisty. And I'm very, like, the clients who work with me, I'm on a divine assignment, right? So when I told God, yes, I would do this work, I would help people learn how to build businesses that serve them financially and spiritually, I gave up myself in honor of helping them. So I hold the space for my clients. And sometimes that requires that I be a little hostile or in your face, because my job is not to be your friend. My job is to get you to, I love this. And I forget who said it, but the quote is, coaches tell you what you don't want to hear and show you what you don't want to see so that they can help you to become who God created you to be. So my job is not to pacify you and say, oh, it's okay that you don't want to do video. It's all right. No, my job is to get you out of your own way, because otherwise you're not going to make money in your business, which means that your gifts are not going to change the world. Because not only do your gifts make room for you, but they build wealth. And if you're not experiencing wealth, it's because you aren't using your gifts. There's no way, if you're operating in your gift, and that's whether you work for yourself or you're an employee, that you won't make wealth. Because that's spiritual law. So, so I would say, do it or get a job. Like, get out there or get a job. It's really the only choice. And it's never as bad as you thought it would be. What I love about fear, right, is fear is either in the past or in the present. I mean, in the past or in the future. It's never in the present. So we have all this agita about what might happen, right? But then we get out there and we do it anyway. And then we realize, oh my gosh, it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. It was amazing. And now you can't get them to stop doing videos. They're going live on Facebook or Instagram every 5 seconds. Like, trust me, it's not going to be as bad as you thought. Take your time and gather your thoughts, because you still don't have, if you want to gain some and keep someone's attention for the duration, you have got to get their attention in the first 4.9 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you don't get my attention in the first 5 seconds, I'm out. So you've got to be really, really clear about your message. So I don't ever recommend that you wing it. I actually think that winging it is disrespectful to expertise, to wing it. Now, I mean, there comes a time when you know your stuff well enough to not maybe have to spend a lot of time preparing, but I always prepare because I love my craft and I want to impact lives so much that I don't want to take the chance that me winging it doesn't give the audience what they most need in that moment to be served by me and to get up and do what they most need to do.
Exactly.
So it's really important to me.
Yeah, I know. I love everything you're saying. And it's funny because I relate so much. I always say I'm like, because I am very fiery. I'm very type A, you know, I'm like a New Yorker. And yeah, like to me, you know, this is why you work with a coach. It's like they kind of tell you the truth. Some things are hard to hear, but if you want results in your life and your business, you know, you have to actually take this honest look in the mirror. Like, what am I afraid of? What am I avoiding? What am I not stepping into? And I always tell this story how when I started doing videos years ago, I hated videos and I cried for an hour. I got over it and I went and did it. And I was like, oh, this is fun, you know? And it's like, that's it. I just moved through it really quick. And now it's like you, it's, you know, in order to grow further and further, it's constant steps into this unknown and the fear. And it always is easier than we think. It's all made up in our crazy head. So I love that you're saying this because there's so much truth to it. And I'm so glad because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching. They're kind of at this point where they're doing well, but they need to do better. They want to do better and they don't know what's stopping them. And you're literally saying the truth. So I want people to know a little bit more. You have this special free gift that's in today's email and they could click the link and get it. It's called Unlock Six-Figure Cash Flow Masterclass. Now I love that six-figure cash flow. Yeah. What is that all about?
Yeah, it's exactly what it says. So, you know, there was a time when having a six-figure business was everything, right? It was the bee's knees. But I think people who get to six figures realize that 6 figures is not enough. Like, it's not enough. It's just not enough. So it's not about having a 6-figure business, although that is the first milestone. You know, according to the IRS, 90% of businesses roughly don't generate 6 figures a year in gross receipts. And that number is a little off. So let me just like keep it real with you. It's a little off because it's based on what you report on your taxes, right? So it's not the end all be all, but I will tell you there are a lot of people who are not generating 6 figures. But once you get there, you realize it's really not enough, right? And so then in my opinion, I think it becomes about having 6-figure cash flow. And so to have 6-figure cash flow, you need a $500,000 business at least. You know, and, you know, once you cross over 7 figures and you have all those zeros in your bank account after everything's paid, because if you have 6-figure cash flow in your business, again, you have probably at least a $500,000 business, depending upon your expenses, but you can pay yourself $100,000 or more a year. You can put aside $100,000 to pay your team if they're not full-time employees. Most entrepreneurs don't need full-time employees. I only have 2 full-time employees. The rest of my team are part-time or contractors. So you can set aside $100,000 a year to pay your team. You can set aside money to pay your taxes and to reinvest in your business. So let's just call that $100,000 between taxes and support and software to reinvest in your business. And guess what? We've got $200,000 left over. That can be sitting in either our personal bank account or our business's bank account, or put $100,000 in your own personal bank account and leave $100,000 in your business in case something comes up that you need. That's freedom, Beth. That is freedom. And so I am on a mission to help as many people as I possibly can unlock 6-figure cash flow. So I created this masterclass because I wanted to teach people the shifts that I personally made in my business back in 2014 to unlock my own 6-figure cash flow. I run a 7-figure company. We make great money doing what we love. I don't work like a super slave. I don't hustle and grind. I don't believe in all of that stuff. I believe in system support and scalability, which is why that's what I teach people. And we got there by working on our messaging and our marketing and our mindset, right? So it's essentially what I teach is exactly what I've done. So there is no theory in my body of work. It is all actually proven and backed by my MBA and my other certifications that I hold. So the masterclass introduces you to the concept and 5 things that you can begin to do that'll move you in the direction of being able to unlock 6-figure cash flow. And, from there, if you like us and our style and the style that I represent for you, you have an opportunity to schedule a call with me or a member of my team to see if we're the right fit to help you to unlock 6-figure cash flow in your business. And we can talk to you about the programs that we've created to help you to get there as quickly as possible. My clients grow their businesses by 50 to 600% in a year. And I'll be honest, that is very true. I'm not making it up. And and there might be some relativity to it. Like I'm thinking about one client who came to me generating $50,000 a year. And a year later, she had a $300,000 business. And another business who came to me as a $500,000 business that a year later had a $1.5 million business. So in both of those scenarios, that was 300% growth. Real growth, real profitability, really building businesses that serve them both financially and spiritually, doing that work that really touches their soul and allows them to impact others. So that's my gift to you. I would love for you to walk through that 45-minute masterclass. And, like I said, if you like me, if you feel like you at least want to have a conversation, then you give the option to do so. Even if I'm not the right fit for you, you need to learn how to unlock 6-figure cash flow. Because you can't impact the world like you want to unless you have more money. You can't. There's no way you can do the work you really want to do if you're struggling to make ends meet month after month. Exactly. It's just not going to happen. And I don't believe that that's the reason we became entrepreneurs. I mean, why not just keep your job? Most people make a decent living and get bonuses every year, right? Like, so why go through all of the hassle of entrepreneurship if you're not trying to get substantially ahead, if you're not trying to create an environment for you to really have access to everything it is that you're wanting for your life.
Yeah. And I love that you say something that I'm all about. I talk about this all the time because I teach a lot of the woo and the mindset, but I'm like, it's like I'm a multiple entrepreneur. I'm like, no, you have to have systems in place. You have to take this seriously. You can't just ignore the practicality of running a business. So this is very important. It's the only way you can grow is to get a grip on every aspect. Either that or make enough to hire it all out with someone really good.
Yeah, there's only 2 ways to scale. You can only scale through systems or support. And that's it. So that means either you're hiring the right team or you're putting the right processes in place that gives you that scalability.
And a lot of people are missing it. So everybody definitely be sure to download the masterclass. It's in today's email. You can click the link. And Darnyelle, tell people where can they find out more about you? What do you have going on upcoming?
Yeah, so you can go to my website, incredible1enterprises.com. The 1 is spelled out. It's literally right behind me. You can read that on the sign. Go there and you'll learn a lot about me. Next, coming up, November 1st through the 3rd, I'm hosting a live training intensive. It's a 3-day how to profit from live events. So I've built my business fortune through live events. The first time I generated more than $1 million in 3 days was 2014. For the 7 years that I've been doing live events in my business, I have generated a total of $6.6 million. And so I'm literally opening up my playbook and I'm going to be teaching a small group of entrepreneurs who want to learn how to generate 6 figures. So my thing is you can make more in 3 days than most people make in a year. Most entrepreneurs make in a year. And if that is of interest to you, you can go to incrediblefactorevents.com, Incredible Factor Events. This is the last time ever I am doing this intensive training. So if you want to learn it in a way that will fully support who you are and allow you to do work that really does impact the world through your live events, then I would highly recommend that you check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, live events are big. I do them too. I don't do gigantic ones yet, but I love doing them. And it's the same thing. I used to be afraid of speaking and now I'm like, oh my God, I get so excited. And it's like people resonate. So everybody be sure to check out all her work and this upcoming event. And thank you so much for being with us today. This is great. I love everything you're teaching. It's so good to hear this. It's so refreshing because it's really so full of truth. Thank you.
You're so very welcome.
Yeah, awesome. And everybody, you can join us tomorrow for more interviews on the True Path Entrepreneur. Bye.